Joining us on Island Pacific TV is Nicole Ponseca of Jeepney, and author of I Am a Filipino. She shares her Kinilaw na Hipon recipe today. Nicole is a pioneer of forwarding Filipino people and food in the spotlight. She is a James Beard finalist for her cookbook, which was also recognized as a Cookbook of the Year by New Yorker, New York Times, Epicurious, and many more. She's also known for winning Best Burger in New York City at Battle of the Burger by Time Out New York, named #1 Tiki Bar in New York by New York Magazine, and created the trend for Kamayan-style dining. She is the founder and operator of Jeepney in New York and Tita Baby Kids. Joining us here on Island Pacific TV, Nicole Ponseca.
Hello. Hello to everyone at Island Pacific, the Island Pacific family. I'm so excited to be here. You know, this is one of my favorite recipes, Kinilaw na Hipon. And actually, all of the ingredients you can get there at Island Pacific. It couldn't get more easier than this. Get all the ingredients at Island Pacific, bring it home, and bring home the flavors of the Philippines. So I'm going to read for you some of the ingredients. Get ready, and we're going to make one of my favorite recipes. First, 1 pound of raw tiger shrimp, peeled and deveined. We usually call that P&D shrimp. 3/4 cup white sugarcane vinegar. 2 tablespoons minced shallot. 2 tablespoons minced fresh ginger. 1/4 cup peeled and seeded and diced cucumber. You know, I'm really partial to Persian or English cucumbers, which are really easy, and I don't usually seed those. So if you get those are awesome. 1/2 teaspoon thinly sliced bird's eye chili. We also know this as Thai chili, and if you're Pinoy, we also know this as sili labuyo. 2 tablespoons diced salted egg. 1 teaspoon fish sauce. Now I know my Pinoy people, we know this as patis. 1 teaspoon calamansi juice, 2 pinches of ground white pepper. Now that's my little secret that I learned during my travels for the book. Ground white pepper brings a little bit of a smoky, a little bit more peppery than just black pepper. But don't fret, if you only have black pepper, that'll work. And 2 tablespoons of torn fresh cilantro leaves. Also note that I know that some people don't like cilantro. That's fine. You definitely want some sort of freshness, some sort of green herb. You can do scallions, you can do garlic chive. Whatever you choose is never wrong. Use your gut, use your palate, and make it your own. You just want a little something green and a little something fresh. Now we're gonna go ahead and walk you through how to make this super easy, refreshing, and light Filipino recipe. Cut the shrimp in half lengthwise along the spine, so you end up with 2 long, thin pieces of shrimp. And then into 1-inch pieces. So you're gonna cut them lengthwise and then cut them in half. Put the shrimp in a large, non-reactive bowl. And what we mean by that is like a steel bowl, something that when you add the ingredients, it's not going to change the flavors. So put the shrimp in a large, non-reactive bowl and cover with the vinegar, making sure all the pieces are covered. And you're gonna let that sit at room temperature for 20 minutes. Now, in my studies of Philippine food, this is what some people refer to as liquid heat. We're never going to actually apply any direct heat by an oven or frying it. I'd love it if you could even take a photo of it, and you're going to see shrimp as gray, almost a blue. When you add that vinegar and let it sit, it's actually going to cook the shrimp. And by the end of it, it's going to turn a little bit opaque and white, as if you cooked it steaming it or boiling it or cooking it in broth. It's amazing. Meanwhile, in a small bowl, toss together the shallot, ginger, cucumber, chili, and half of the salted egg. Now at this point, the shrimp is already cooked, so you can scoop out the shrimp with a slotted spoon, leaving the liquid in the bowl, and set them aside in a separate bowl. Add the remaining salted egg to the liquid left in the bowl and blend it with the back of a spoon or fork until it forms an emulsion. You're gonna have what's left over, a vinegar that's slightly flavored with shrimp. It's amazing. And what I learned with Kinilaw is you always have some sort of acid and then some sort of fat. You could use coconut milk. In this case, we're using salted egg, which is going to fatten up the vinegar. It's going to create the most delicious dressing. Next step, return the shrimp and any liquid it has released back into the bowl. Add the shallot ginger mixture, and you want to toss that. Add the patis, the calamansi juice, and white pepper, and toss everything together with 2 large spoons or clean hands. Let the mixture sit for another 10 minutes more. You want to taste it, and you can add more patis, calamansi juice, chile, or white pepper as you like. You know, recipes are meant to be a guide, but you yourself know what you like. So never take it as gospel. You make it your own. I, for one, like a little bit more white pepper. I like a little bit more of a kick. So if you ever have it at my house, know you're going to get it just a little bit more spicy. Last step, garnish this dish with cilantro, and you're going to serve it immediately. If you want, you can let it sit for another hour or so. It's still going to taste good, but the shrimp will continue to cook with the acid. And that's it. This is Kinilaw na Hipon. This is my book, I Am a Filipino. You can find this recipe in the book. Great if you want to keep things a little bit light. If it's a bit hot, or you just want a little bit of a lighter fare for dinner. You know, I like to serve this sometimes with a little grilled liempo or pork belly. And then that's a whole other dish called sinuglaw. And then a little bit of rice. Oh my God, my mouth is watering just thinking about it. The reason why I chose this recipe to offer to you over at Island Pacific and the Island Pacific family is because Kinilaw or kilawin, or this form of ceviche that we have onto our Filipino culture, is the oldest documented recipe known to Filipino food and culture. So from this recipe, I think it really gives you an idea of the flavor profile of the Philippines. It's that high acid that I have not found in any other culture as a main part of the food. Usually acid is a dipping sauce, or it's an accompaniment for a salad dressing. Only in the Philippines do I find maasim, or that acid, throughout all of the regions and throughout so many dishes, which you can also get at Island Pacific. You can make adobo, sinigang, sinampulakan. I mean, there's just so many dishes that highlight acid, and it really starts with Kinilaw. So I hope you enjoy it. Writing this book has been such a journey. It's been a memorable experience to get to know myself, get to know my parents, and get to know the ancestors that I'll never actually get to meet. And when you get to know your food, you really get to honor so much agriculture, culture, rituals, and the spirit of being Filipino. I hope you'll make this dish. I hope you'll share it with your friends, Filipino and non-Filipino. And I hope you'll get the book, which you can get at jeepneynyc.com. Free shipping. I'll sign it. And if you give me a note, I'll actually even personalize it for you. Thank you so much. I hope to see you soon. Maraming salamat. Eat well and know your culture, know yourself.